Hey guys, quick video today. A jersey has arrived. It's one that I ordered. The guys who follow me on Patreon will probably know which one it is because I put a photo of it out yesterday. But that's arrived, so I'll open that in a second. I have a quick word on Beauden Barrett, who's been making the news for some interesting reasons. A bit of news out of the All Blacks camp today as well. And also a final word on Jordie Barrett. So it's a lot of New Zealand-based news today, to be fair. But not a New Zealand thing. I will start with the jersey. Again, I should say thanks to those 11 guys who are supporting me on Patreon. I think last video I mentioned that it was 3. Now we're up to 11 guys. So again, thank you guys very much for that support. It is appreciated and allows me to do things like this. This jersey took me quite some time to find. It's definitely not a current model. I think it's like 2 years old. But in preparation for the Rugby World Cup, it is a Namibia rugby jersey. It's 2XL, but I can already feel that it feels huge. I did find a 3XL first, but controlled myself from ordering the 3XL because I thought I would swim in it. I feel like I'm going to swim in this just by feeling the size. I'm assuming that's Windhoek draft, probably Namibian beer, I'm guessing. I have not tried it. I would like to try it. But yeah, that's a pretty cool jersey. Made by Canterbury. It feels nice. It's got a pretty distinctive color pattern as well, which is cool. And there's some kind of pattern all across the blue, which is actually pretty slick. So I'll try this on shortly. Interestingly, I'm not sure what the deal is with the logo. Like, didn't Namibia's logo used to be like an eagle? Anyway. It's a Namibia jersey, man. As I said, pretty hard to find. I think this is the 2017 version, but again, it's wasn't that easy to track down, so kind of just went with what I could find. So 2XL, usually my size, Namibia jersey. I've never seen a person wearing a Namibia jersey here in New Zealand, so I have to wear that around town and see if anybody notices it. But yeah, Namibia jersey in time for the World Cup, so it's pretty cool. It's just Tonga and Uruguay to go. I've found the Tonga one. I'll just have to see if I can find the Uruguay one because that seems exceptionally rare indeed. Yeah, Jordie Barrett. Not Jordie Barrett, Beauden Barrett. We'll start with that Barrett. If you haven't seen the news, there's been a bit of news anyway about Beauden. One of the kicks, the penalty kicks that he was going to take in that match against the Springboks, the referee gave him the mark. He kind of put the ball down and then gave it a little nudge forward with his foot. It rolled a couple of meters forward. When the ref's back was turned, he went back and just stood on the new mark. So he probably gained like 2 or 3 meters closer to the sticks behind the referee's back. So, Exeter, stop falling down. There's been a mixed reaction to this in that some people take very much the high road that Beauden is a dirty cheat for doing that. Other people will say everybody does it. Everybody tries to sneak a meter. So I don't know. With that one, I'm kind of in the middle because I'm sure there are players who do not do it at all. And I'm sure there are players who try to do it every time. I don't see there being a whole lot of difference between this and other kind of cynical play. People slowing the ball down at the breakdown, putting their hands on it, putting their legs over the gate at the ruck. All kinds of shenanigans go on. That's why we've got the ref. So I'm leaning to the fact that there's a TMO, 2 assistant referees, and a ref. None of them picked up that. So that they should be doing that. That's kind of their job. Because some players, not all, will try to push the envelope and steal a meter where they can. So it's definitely not a good look for Beauden. Kind of shame on him for doing that. But also the ref, he needs to do his job and keep the players in line. And if he's going to do that, reverse the penalty, man. Punish him. If you're going to cheat, you get penalised. You get penalised for slowing the ball down at the ruck. So why not? What do you guys think? You let me know your thoughts on that one. The All Blacks today have also released their updated squad in which they've cut 5 players, 6 if you include Brodie Retallick, who is out of the squad with injury. The players who have not made the cut are Asofo Amua, the hooker, Josh Ioane, the first 5, Dalton Papali'i, loose forward. Shannon Frizzell, loose forward. And Carl Tuinukuafe, prop. So those 5 guys have been cut. I think Josh Ioane was probably always going to get cut because he was really only there to just basically get a bit of training with the All Blacks under his belt. It's always going to be Beauden and Richie. So it was just kind of good to get him into the fold with Damian McKenzie out injured. So I think he was never going to make it. He was very much expected to get cut. And I would have thought that he was kind of under no illusions about that himself. Almua, again, probably is behind Coltman in the pecking order based on recent form, so that kind of makes sense. Papali'i did get a few minutes in that last game, but I suppose was always going to be on the borderline. Tuinukuafe, likewise, he seems to have slightly fallen out of favour with the All Black selectors. And Shannon Frizzell is perhaps the most surprising. Given that Vaya Fafita was pretty average in that game against Argentina, it's a bit surprising that they've stuck with Fafita, but I guess that ability to cover lock with the fact that Brody is out probably adds to his favour a bit. So, yeah, those are the 5 guys who have been cut. I guess Sonny Bill was never going to get cut, but people will say that he should have been one of the guys cut. Sevu Reece and Braden Enor were kind of some of the other guys who people suggested might get cut because they're quite new to the camp, but they have retained their spots, so good on them. I think Laulala and Sonny Bill are both going to play a bit of Mitre 10 Cup rugby this weekend to kind of increase their match fitness, so we'll see how those guys go as well. Lastly, a bit of news on Jordie Barrett, because after his brother Beauden signed with the Blues, there was a bit of talk about was he going to stay with the Hurricanes or where was he going to move. It's kind of a bit of both with his story, because he signed an extended contract with New Zealand Rugby, which will keep him in New Zealand until 2022, until the end of that season. But he's got a clause in his contract. He's with the Hurricanes for at least another year, but he's got a clause in his contract that allows him to move to any other New Zealand Super Rugby franchise within that 3 years. So he still might end up at the Blues or the Crusaders, Highlanders, Chiefs. It could happen. They said that kind of contract where he is free to move between teams is not common, but also not unique. So there are other guys who do have that kind of door open if they want to. I mean, all the talk about Jordie leading up to this year is the fact that he wants to play second 5, he wants to play 12, but with Laumape there, he's never likely to get any minutes at 12, so it is interesting that he stuck with the Canes. They must have said something that can convince him to stay, but the fact that he does have that free reign to move between franchises, I guess, indicates that if he really has his heart set on 12, he's still got that option open to him while remaining in New Zealand and the All Blacks framework. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with him going forward. But yeah, that's the news. Namibia jersey. Again, thanks to my 11 patrons on Patreon for their support. It's pretty helpful with that kind of stuff. Beauden Barrett, what do you guys reckon? Because as I said, it's not unique to him. It was just a very blatant one, which I think has got a fair bit of ire of a lot of the people. All Blacks cutting 5 players. What do you reckon about those 5 guys cut? And Jordie Barrett sticking with the Canes. Do you think that is the right move? You guys let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you again soon. See you later.